It's the Fellowship of the Geek Show, a weekly podcast about comics, the comic book industry, and other geek pop culture. Music courtesy of Manny the Martyr. And now, on with the show!
Hey there, everybody. This is the Fellowship of the Geeks podcast. My name's Thomas Chick, and joining me for this episode is Mike Marlowe.
Hey, gang.
Les Webster.
Hello, all.
And Liz Newman.
Hello, everybody.
How are y'all doing?
Pretty good.
Good.
Just ducky.
Hmm.
Oh, my God, what I've done.
See, this is why I say peachy, because who knows what sound a peach makes? Not me.
Squish, squish.
Slurp, slurp. That's a good one.
Just ask James.
The
giant
giant
peach.
one? Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Anyway.
Yeah, I think we're done now.
It's out.
Yeah.
How often do we have a Tim Burton reference on here? That was awesome, by the way.
What did Tim Burton have to do with that?
Didn't he help with James and the Giant Peach?
I have no idea.
Yeah, he did.
Oh, okay.
Anyone want to take bets when we get a supernatural reference?
About 10 minutes.
I don't know. If Liz goes first, it won't be that long, right?
Yeah. Hope everybody out there is doing okay. So what's been going on in your corner of the galaxy?
3, 2,
2,
1.
1.
Well, you know Jensen Ackles now. I had to.
You had to. Absolutely.
I've been watching a lot of weird shit here lately.
Cool.
Lately?
Some of it's for the podcast, too. But anyway.
That was the main one I watched. Now it's kind of weird. It probably doesn't fit on our show, but here recently, New York Times released a docuseries on Britney Spears. And I don't know if you guys have seen the whole Free Britney movement and everything else going on in social media.
Is she locked up?
Do what?
Is she locked up?
Kind of. When she went crazy in front of the media, her dad stepped in and took conservatorship of her. And now we're talking here's an alcoholic who had problems making enough money to even put her through acting school and everything else, and now he's in control of her finances. So
one could argue that maybe he's why she's screwed up in the first place, but yeah.
Exactly. Well, it's kind of to the point where, she did the whole Las Vegas, show and everything else. And she's trying to tell people now, I'm better. I don't think she was actually ever sick, not sick enough to take control of. My honest opinion, and even when it happened, it was sad what happened to her. The media just ate her up and blew up every little bitty thing she did. She had just had her baby. She was probably going through some postpartum depression. And when you have that going on inside of your mind, your body's all changing because you just popped out a kid, the media just exploited it and she popped. Shaved her head. I think the whole shave the head thing was maybe if I don't look glamorous and gorgeous and everything else, you guys will leave me alone. Because there were so many times she was like, please just leave me alone. And they wouldn't. But she's now doing her Vegas thing. She's fierce. She's got control of her kids again. She's worth over $70 million. She's made a good name for herself. And the courts have pretty much said, no, I don't think you're ready to take care of this on your own. What? I'm making sound decisions. I'm working. I'm doing tours. And you don't think I'm mentally healthy to take care of myself anymore? So she's asked them to at least she's plainly told them, I don't want my dad involved in any of this, and asked for a bank to come in and kind of be the conservator of her money. So basically, he can't take anything out without going through them, And they said that was fine. They've left the door open to where she can eventually get rid of her dad, but right now he's still in control of her, which is sad, I think she'll have better results now than when she tried years ago to get rid of him, because we've now opened up and we have released the stigmata that surrounded mental illness. And just because somebody has depression or any other kind of, bipolar, whatever, doesn't mean they're a loose cannon. There's plenty of people who are very successful and deal with mental illnesses. It's not as taboo as it used to be, like when she shaved her head. People never went, oh my God, I feel sorry for her because she's suffering. It was, oh my God, that crazy bitch. I bet she's bad to her kids and stuff too. Even to the point when her and Justin Timberlake broke up, the way the media treated her versus him, it was like, you're a slut. That's probably why he left you, is because you're a slut. And he was this god golden boy that they put up on a, freaking pedestal. So it wasn't fair, Even before all of that, when she would have interviews and stuff, they were like, oh, are you a virgin? Are you kidding me? You're talking to one of the most talented women ever, and that's your first question you have for her? Would they have asked a man that? So it was kind of not just the way the paparazzi treated her, but the way the media treated her too. Diane Sawyer's, 2020, all of them crapped on her, because it was easier to dismiss the floozy than have to deal with that she's a fierce female who can stand up for herself, So it was, like I said, it was kind of interesting. I'm not a big Britney Spears fan at all. Of course, during the time where she was having her episodes there, it was everywhere. Even if you didn't listen to her music, you knew who she was, So, yeah, it was pretty eye-opening, just the bullshit she's gone through, to be who she is today, and she's still dealing with all the bullshit. And I think if her dad would just back off, let her stand on her own, she'd probably surprise us again, But everybody's now, since all this has come out, oh, Justin needs to apologize to her. No, I hate when the internet goes after somebody and tells them that they have to apologize. Because if that person was going to apologize, they already would have. They've been split up. He's married, has kids and everything else. He would have already apologized to her if he felt bad for what he did to her, And now that everybody's like ganging up on him, if he does apologize to her, it's not going to be heartfelt and it's not going to be meaningful because he was forced to apologize to her, So it's kind of like, that's water under the bridge. Let it go, and let's deal with her dad. That's the person people need to gang up on and get him to go. I'm not talking violence. I'm talking step out of her spotlight. Let your daughter shine, So that one was, like I said, that was, I wasn't expecting it to be as good as it was. And it was kind of cool that the New York Times did it, because they were part of the problem then too. So for them to step back and go, you know what? We caused this woman, because she's no longer a floozy teenager, we caused this woman a lot of pain, and hopefully by showing what she's going through now, we can make up for some of that, So it was pretty good. I wasn't expecting to like it at all. So.
I like a good documentary.
Yeah, me too. And it was so much different than the normal crime stuff I watch.
Uh-oh,
There's
she's
no dead babies.
She's breaking out of the true crime thing, finally.
No, I watched a lot of that too.
Well, yeah, okay.
But yeah, like I said, I was really surprised. But I've seen a lot of it like on Twitter and stuff, and it was kind of like, huh, what are they talking about? And they're like, oh, we didn't know this, and it's like, really? If you, they didn't really tell us anything different than what we already knew, but it was presented in a different light than they had before. So no longer here's this bimbo that cheated, it was here's this girl who was having a mental breakdown that we made feel like shit, So that was kind of cool. And you can understand why she did the things she did. She had just had enough. She couldn't do anything without being swarmed, which some people say that's the price of fame. You do give up your privacy. But my God, when Kevin took her kids, leave the woman alone. Let her grieve. Let her go batshit crazy without a camera in her face, So, yeah, they said it was pretty cool. And I'm glad that we've gotten to a place now where we can actually acknowledge that somebody's not crazy if they're depressed or bipolar or, whatever. So that was cool.
Well, the press did the same thing with, who was the actress, the comedian?
Lindsay Lohan?
Oh, no, she's just batshit crazy anyway.
Yeah.
Oh.
Amanda Bynes?
Amanda Bynes.
Yeah.
That, to me, that's how they dealt with her too. They just gave her the crazy name, the name of crazy.
And then painted everything she did as, oh, that's so crazy.
Yes.
But she actually, she cleaned up too. And I think she seeked help, which I'm glad, one of the good things that happened in the conservatorship with Brittany was she was forced to get help.
Yes.
She couldn't ask for it because, of course, being a strong female, famous like you are, it's weak to ask for help, So at least they made her get the help to where she could deal with some of this stuff. And I honestly think if they would have done the same thing to Lindsay Lohan, let her dry out and made her go get some help, maybe she wouldn't have been the person she was either,
True.
But people seem to think that if you're rich, you can't have problems. Oh, no, that just makes bigger, more expensive problems, But Paris Hilton, she came out and spoke about the school that she went to, that she was abused there. And people are like, oh, you want me to feel sorry for somebody who was born with a silver spoon? Well, just because she's rich doesn't mean she couldn't have been abused. If anything, it made her harder to come out and tell somebody these things because of the standards that we've placed on famous people, So that was kind of cool to see her come out and speak for thousands who couldn't have. And sorry to say, with her fame and money, she's going to be listened to more.
Mm.
So
Sad though it may be.
Yeah. But sometimes justice has a price tag,
Mm. This is America. Everything has a price tag.
Exactly. So sometimes you need those people with the funds to be behind you, So, but yeah, like I said, if you guys are curious, I think it's streaming on Hulu. It was originally shown on FX, but it's called Framing Britney, and it was done by the New York Times. So, it's a series. I think there's been 6. She was the 6th episode they've done, and the first one was actually on Breonna Taylor. So that was pretty cool too. So if you're curious, it's on Hulu.
Cool.
Okay.
Huh. Okay. So I get to follow that now. That could be a lot worse.
Oh, I did cut a few topics.
No, thanks. Appreciate it. I actually had slow-ish week this week. I am caught up now on the movies for this month. I still have to watch the last one, but we have a few weeks before that becomes an issue, so no big deal. Since I had started watching them out of order like an idiot, I had to rush last week to watch the two for last week, and I watched the one for next week already now, so it's good. We're good. Ready to roll here. Yeah, I know. I know everybody was worried.
Sigh of relief.
Uh-huh. But anyway, so the other thing I did this last week, and there's audio evidence to prove it. Actually, there's video evidence too, if you're interested in that sort of thing. I don't know why anybody would be, but so I went on the Pop Goes the Culture podcast. I visited the mothership, and it was a lot of fun. Those guys are crazy just like us in their own little way, but it was a lot of fun. We got to talk about they talk when they do their weekly show. What they do is they get together on, and I'm sure this is not, I mean, it's not widely known knowledge, but it's not hidden knowledge or anything. They get together on Thursday night for the show that they're going to drop on Friday morning. So there's not necessarily a ton of editing going on. If there is, Joey stays up all night doing it apparently. But the other cool thing that they do is when they record it, they're recording it. They've got a Zoom thing set up, and they're actually broadcasting it live on Twitch and I think Facebook Live and YouTube. So, like I said, if you want to see the video version, go to YouTube or Twitch and check it out there.
Yeah, I did not know about that. So yeah, I am following them on Twitch now. So
Now, I was
cool.
trying to keep up. How many guys were there on the show?
I believe there were 8 of us.
Okay.
I think it was 8. There was one guy dropped out after a while, but because he had to go. But I think we started out with 8 people, which is from what Joey was saying, that's a little more than normal. I mean, I think they have like 4 regulars and then a couple of other people that sort of drop in from time to time. And then there was another guy there, Hawk, was from another podcast. Oh crap! I'm blanking on the name of the show. I'll make a note of it in the show notes, but because he's a hoot, honestly. Hawk was hilarious.
Yeah.
And so are some of the regulars from there. Joey's pretty funny himself, and Kenny's a blast.
I thought the whole thing was funny.
Yep,
I loved it.
It was pretty good.
Yep.
It was pretty good. That is something I need to do more often for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I had done it like last year at some point, and I was like, oh yeah, this is great. I need to do this again. And then the whole friggin' world turned upside down, sort of thing, and I never got another chance to do it again until just this week. So I will try to do it more often because it's a lot of fun. But
It's cool.
yeah, they have a quicker turnaround than we do on their shows. So by the time this show drops, that will be an old episode for them. But that's all right.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I'm going to keep an eye on for future episodes.
Yep.
It's cool. Like
Yep.
I said, I had a lot of fun listening to that.
Yep, me too. And it was Mikey on a rant. Believe it or not, you got to listen just for that.
I was impressed, man.
I totally stole Liz's rant, but that's all right.
No, you brought up some points that I wouldn't have thought of, so that was cool. You didn't totally dog Snyder, so.
I didn't.
Well, you kind of did.
Totally.
It felt like
She
I
said
was.
totally.
But it was more of the plot of the movie and stuff, which, you kind of gave a reason. A lot of the times I go on a Snyder rant, it's just, he's a douchebag, with no backup. So it was kind of cool you guys had.
I felt like I needed to have a reason, It wasn't my show. If it had been my show, I would have just gone nuts and not cared. But no, I felt like, and the deal was we were talking, their deal is they do current news stuff, which is why they have such quick turnaround on stuff. That's why they do it overnight. But so yeah, he had given us a list of shows, and I'm like, oh, the Justice League thing, I have to talk about this. I have to. This is honestly none of the other news things that he had sent me sounded all that interesting. I was like, oh, okay, well I can turn this into a rant or something. That'll be fun.
Yeah.
They seem to enjoy it, so why not, right?
Yeah. It was, I would say it was the longer part of the show. It, you know, kind of like sometimes when we have a topic just kind of take over. So,
Or we
hey,
go off
that
on
was
a
cool. You
tangent
led
that
the
takes over.
conversation.
Right.
Or someone has a rant that takes over.
I just,
Yeah, Les. Quit doing that.
dang. We know who's driving the bus tonight. Jeez.
He was the quietest. I had to pick on him.
Thanks.
Anytime. I got you.
Oh, wow.
He still hasn't gone yet, you know.
Yeah.
Just saying. Speaking of which.
I don't have anything. No, what I did find was Hopalong Cassidy movies on Amazon Prime, and each is about an hour long. And it's just been fun to follow this, because as a kid, yes, I watched Hopalong along with Gene Autry, Roy Rogers, and from this, I see some funny things. Old West town, Hoppy is asked to become the sheriff to rid the town of the evildoers. And there's one scene where an elderly miner, Pegleg, is walking his 2 mules down the street, and he comes to a bar. But outside the bar there is a sign posted, and it's product placement. It's a Seagram's sign.
Ooh.
And I'm going, Seagram's in the Old West? No, I don't think so.
Why not?
So you get some anomalies, but to me, it's just fun stuff to watch. It's an hour long. It's over. You go, now that's cool. I'll start watching something different. So if you've got the inkling for Westerns, it's a quick and easy way to get that out of your system. It's just fun.
Cool.
See, you say that. I'm going to well actually you a little bit. Seagram's was founded in 1857.
This is supposed to be just before that. This is the 18... You said 57?
57, yeah.
Well, maybe it could be.
I mean, they were in Canada,
But it's
so
just-
it's still hard to believe, really. But you know,
Yeah. But it's just fun. And it's amazing how many bullets can be shot. I've also wondered how come we haven't come across more skeletons in the Old West? Because somebody gets shot and killed and people right away. Nobody buries, nobody takes them into town, nothing. We just leave them. So I would think that we would have, 100,000 skeletons just out there.
well, and in 10,000 years, there'll be a bunch of archaeologists out there digging around, trying to figure out what happened to us, and they'll find all those skeletons, and it'll make sense. Clearly, there was some sort of
Probably
mass
so.
extinction that happened in the late 1800s. Yeah, I don't know. I'm making this up.
No, it's fine. Go ahead.
Sounded good.
You're
Yeah.
doing a good job, yeah.
Apparently my BS meter is stuck on overload tonight. I don't know.
So that's it?
That's it.
Okay. I really don't have much going on my end. I've just been working on, watching, trying to catch up on the movies for this month, and then working on stuff for the Discord and other fun stuff. So that's pretty much it. Speaking of Discord, we have a Discord.
What?
We do?
You?
We do. I think.
When did this happen? Why wasn't I notified? No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
I thought that was part of the multiverse. I dreamed it.
Wow.
Oh, and it goes quiet. Thanks, guys. Left me hanging
Well,
there.
hell, now I have to leave that in. Jeez.
Yeah. Hanging off the microphone. Yeah.
Don't make me start thumping.
Hey. Ay.
We've been using for several months. We do a lot of fun activities, post news items and discussion things. The really big thing that's kind of taken off was we've added a music channel.
Oh, man, that thing's exploded. Holy crap.
Yeah.
That was the best idea any of us has had in, like, years.
Well, I'll give credit to Liz. I thought about it when I first started setting things up, but I was like, yeah, you know what? No, I mean, never. I sided against it, and obviously I was wrong. So kudos to Liz for saying, hey, can we do this? So.
It's kind of neat seeing everybody's different styles.
Hmm.
And I'm kind of finding out that I listen to weird music again. It's like, well, okay. It can't be right.
It ain't that weird.
No, I've left my weird stuff off there.
Oh, God.
Really?
I gotta leave that in now, too. Shit.
Yeah. So y'all are more than welcome to come join us. Join in the fun. Discord app is free. You can sign up for an account, and that's free. There's an invite on the front page of our website, www.thefellowshipofthegeeks.net. And I will post links ever so often on our social media so if you're following us on social media, just take a look for that and come join us. So it's been fun.
Yeah.
All right. This week we are continuing our spy parody month. Technically, it's a little bit more than a month because I think we're doing 5 weeks, but that's okay.
It's okay. We can't count.
Well, I mean, some months have 5 Sundays. So
yep, February never does. But that's okay.
I know.
Well, actually, that's not true. It's possible. On the
It's
right
possible.
leap year, it is possible, but not this year. That's okay.
So, for this week, we'll be discussing the 1966 American comedy, The Last of the Secret Agents, ? And this film starred the comedy team of Marty Allen and Steve Rossi, who I was familiar with Marty Allen. I seem to remember him on some of the game shows of the 70s. Wasn't he on Kojak as well? Or am I thinking of someone else?
He might have done a
Not
spot
sure.
on Kojak. It's entirely possible.
So, Steve Rossi, I had no clue who that was until this film. they play two Americans who are in Paris and are down on their luck. They get hired for jobs and immediately get fired. And they find out that they're actually reluctant couriers, or unbeknownst to them, that they're couriers for this evil organization, and have been recruited by the good guys to help them try to nab the bad guys. That's pretty much it in a nutshell. I will say this.
You're sorry? It's okay. Forgive me for this.
I knew we were in trouble from the get-go with the opening.
Yeah.
And for those of you who've not seen it, here's what happens. It starts off, it's a middle shot of two spies. One pulls out this folded up piece of paper that has something on it. And Spy 2 takes a picture of it and then takes the note and then shoots Spy 1. Turns around, takes a couple of steps, runs into Spy 3. Spy 3 takes a picture of the note, takes the note, kills Spy 2. This seems to go on for about an hour.
It wasn't more than about 3 minutes.
Yeah.
But it did
felt
seem
like
longer,
an hour
yes.
because it was like the joke that would not end, and it was not a funny joke.
Mm-mm.
And
Although
I was
that
like,
monkey was ruthless.
But because I was like, okay, it first happened, and then it happened the second time. I'm like, okay, that's kind of cute. But when it happens for the 10th time, I'm going, oh, fucking Christ, please help me. It just kept on going. I'm like, if the rest of the film is the way, we're in trouble.
Mm-hmm. And it was.
It was.
Wow. You guys are harsh.
But accurate.
Oh, yeah, I'm not saying
I
you're
found
wrong. I'm
this
just
one-
saying it was hard.
So hard to watch. I must have stopped this movie like 6 different times and just walked away for a minute because it was like, God, I didn't know what the hell was going on for the first 40 minutes.
Oh, I don't think anything was going on for the first 40 minutes.
I know they.
I'm not
sad
saying that
because
whole-
It's a 92-minute film.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. Well, I mean, the 40 minutes was about how long it took them to sort of get this whole thing started, the whole recruiting these guys into the GGI, which, stands for Good Guys Institute. That's kind of part of where we're going with this whole thing. And so by the time they actually get to be quote unquote spies, you're at about that halfway mark because it's a bit of a slow wind up.
And I really didn't understand their mission until they came to the Venus de Milo. And it was like, oh, okay, this guy's stealing art. Why couldn't they just come out and say, this guy's stealing art?
They did.
We need you to track him down.
They did. You must have missed it. It was in that
I guess
first
I
40
did.
minutes that it was kind of hard to watch. And that was
Yeah.
it was a brief part of that whole scene where they've got those two guys in that room and they're briefing them. It's a really kind of a long scene and there's a lot of other crap going on and I can see where it could be distracting for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't like this one. I was hoping there was another Flint movie or something we could substitute.
I was wondering
it
if
was
there was
hard
a
to
sequel to
watch.
this. Are you kidding?
And I've watched The Blob, so that says a lot about this movie.
Blob's not a bad movie. What are you talking about?
Yeah. It's just, yeah. I found this one very hard. And is that really his hair?
Yes.
Yes.
That is really his hair.
Golly. It looked like a Brillo pad.
Yes.
I guess that was part of his shtick.
Seemed to be. It was in this
Yeah.
movie. Whether that was in their act, I have no idea. The only place I have ever heard of these guys before was from Les, believe it or not.
Are we busting on your favorites?
I was just going to make the comment that all the killing that was done at the first that Tom mentioned there.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Did I mention that? Okay.
Yeah. Well, what struck me while I was watching this was these were all the people that were involved in making of this movie. They should be ashamed of what they were doing. And like Liz said, the monkey was brutal, and I thought the monkey had the best part in the movie.
Oh, damn. That is harsh.
Certainly best acting.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, by far.
Potentially.
Well, and there was that little dog on the train. He was kind of cute too.
When they panned that street shot back, they had more deaths there than occurred during that scene.
Mm-hmm.
And I was going, how is this possible?
Apparently they brought some in from that Hopalong Cassidy thing you were watching.
I think you're right. all those skeletons.
All them dead cowboys, yeah.
Yeah. I was curious about having Nancy Sinatra in this movie with a French accent. Why not just, if you were going to go for that, just get Claudine Longet to do it. She sings, she acts. Just let her do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we can. Let's add to this conversation in a couple of weeks. But yeah, I'm not gonna. I actually thought her French accent wasn't half bad for the fact that she's not French. It seemed a little overdone. I actually would have been perfectly happy with more Nancy Sinatra in this movie. If nothing else, she's way nicer to look at than Marty Allen,
Mm-hmm.
which is
Now,
not a very high bar.
She kind of like showed up out of nowhere in the ending of the movie, though. It was like, where was she?
Right. I mean, the biggest mystery in this movie was she going to get Steve married off?
Yeah.
I mean, nothing else was mysterious about this movie.
Mm-mm.
Whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, I leave to the viewer. But yeah, the only other redeeming quality in this movie was that it had Theo Mankiewicz in it.
I don't know why, but they reminded me a lot of Dean Martin and Jerry Lewis.
Yes, there was definitely that kind of.
There was a lot of comparison.
Yeah,
in their
the
career.
Playboy singer and the weird one,
There was a lot of comparison in their career.
Was there?
Yeah, I
Yes.
believe
Oh,
it was
yes.
at the Low Rent, Martin and Lewis, or something like that. They were called a lot. The
Ah.
poor man's Martin and Lewis. Yeah.
Yeah. And then part of me wished it was Dean Martin and Jerry Lewis.
Well,
Well, the only problem is you would have Jerry's irritating voice, a
Yeah.
high-pitched voice. So I don't know.
instead of Marty's,
I was going to say, the other guy wasn't too much better. I just think Lewis had better hair.
Depends. Depends which,
depends on the role.
which Lewis role are you talking about?
Yeah.
The one where he plays multiple parts was god awful, but I'm getting distracted.
Yeah, we're not picking on Martin and Lewis here. We're picking on
No.
Alan and Rossi.
So I don't think I've seen them before.
Well, they were very popular on television shows like, Ed Sullivan, or Your Show of Shows, or something like that. You know, stuff that was
Or stand-up?
Yeah,
Yes.
it's like comedy
Okay.
routines. They would like they did he later on was kind of a regular on the Hollywood Squares because he was funny. Um, they did Vegas.
Mhm.
You know, I mean, see, the usual comedy stuff. I mean, but given that they were never a huge hit on for anything of their own on TV, basically. I mean, they were pretty popular. They were pretty successful.
Yeah.
Hmm.
It did not translate to the movies by the looks of it.
Not if this is any indicator, no. Yeah, I okay. In an effort to distract a bit, I have a little tangent. Was it is it just me, or was there a noticeable trend in the '60s to do Nazi comedy? Because how many movies have we seen from this time frame that have some sort of funny sketch dropped in it somewhere involving Nazis? Because this movie was no exception. Um, I was never so happy and so sad to see Harvey Korman in my life at the same time like that before.
Yeah.
Because, oh, this is great. Harvey Korman's in this movie. Oh, shit, he's playing a Nazi.
And then they had an actual Hitler. I think it was kind of make fun of what you don't like kind of thing, you know?
See, I actually think it
Poke
was
fun
kind
of.
of the other way around. I think I think the 60s was 20 years after the war, and so I think the young hip thing to do was to make fun of the thing that that everybody's parents hated the most. And so, okay, well, we'll just have Nazis in our movie, and that'll be edgy.
Yeah.
Not that the writers of this movie were necessarily 20 years old at the time or anything, but it was certainly something that happened
Mhm.
in the 60s more often than it should have. But yeah, and it wasn't a particularly funny scene either, but
Mm-mm.
which was
It
sad
wasn't.
because that was kind of why I was sad because this is a pretty early appearance for Harvey Korman, and I wish it had been. I mean, he did what he could with it, but there was nothing there to work with.
Especially when he was changing lines with Marty.
Hmm.
That was painful.
That was.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seemed like a lot of the lines with Marty, with anybody, involved somebody delivering lines and then Marty just sort of being there throwing something in here and there. And neither of them seemed to be paying that much attention to each other at the time. And it was, I don't know, it struck me as weird. There was, I mean, uh, Marty Allen may have been a hilarious stand-up comic, but he was not an actor.
No.
And I think this movie made that clear.
Now, about a year later, there was a movie that came out that dealt heavily with Nazis, and that was The Producers.
Hmm.
And I was so happy to see Turner Classics show that the other night, because that got me to just stop down and watch. Even got my wife to watch. She hadn't seen it. She'd seen the musical, but she had not seen the original.
Wow.
And that was fun to see again for sure.
Yeah, it always cracked me up that in 67, 68, somewhere in there, The Producers comes out. And then, like in the 90s, they turn around and make it into a musical, which apparently
Yes.
they then felt like they had to make a movie version of. So then that's where you get the remake, and I don't know if they kept the musical aspect in the remake or not. I have not seen it. I don't particularly care to, but I just find it funny that they make a musical of a movie and then they make a movie of the musical of the movie.
Well, that's been done before too.
Mm.
Little Shop of Horrors
Yep.
was a quote serious movie. But as far as the producers goes, Anne Bancroft told Mel Brooks to do it as a musical. She said, you need to take this to Broadway and show it as a musical. And then from that came the movie.
And being a good husband, he listened to his wife
Yes.
because she was right.
Yes.
It was a very successful musical.
Yes. And they did have a couple of the aspects from the original producers into the musical, such as the Springtime for Hitler serenade. But when they went to the scenes with Hitler talking to his group, that was cut out. They didn't boast on that part, which is kind of a shame too, because Dick Shawn was phenomenal.
They didn't want to cross that line again.
No. But back to this one.
Do we have to?
Ah.
No, we should. You're right.
I got to say, I did smile at one scene in the movie, and that's when it said "the end."
Right?
I had nothing. I did not laugh. I did not smile, and I love comedy, but this was just not funny. It hurt. It hurt. It gave me a toothache. It was that. It was like a dull drill bit into my tooth. It was bad.
Oh man!
I'm glad I've got it out of my system again. I mean, I've seen it before, but
it makes me happy to hear you say that because I felt exactly the same way.
Yep.
This was I mean when Liz actually we were talking about this earlier on the Discord and Liz was like this movie was really hard to watch and I was like oh man yeah 100%.
yes.
This was actually of these movies this was the one I watched first. Boy, made it really hard to move on after that.
You set yourself up really good.
I totally did. Oh my god. Yeah, this was not great. Not great. It was you know, if you take the funny out of physical comedy, it's a beating. That's literally what it is. And yeah. Somehow this managed to not somehow you managed to have a significant amount of slapstick in this and it just wasn't funny at all. I don't know.
Well, I think it tried too hard to be funny to where it wasn't funny. If that makes sense.
Well, it was like they just expected sticking Alan and Rossi in this movie would just make it funny, as opposed to like, because I remember I read something. I think it was on I don't know if it was on the Wikipedia page or the IMDb page. Steve Rossi actually like argued at the beginning about putting some of their actual material into the movie and was shot down. They were like, no, we're just gonna work with this script we have here. Well, I mean, it weirds me out that Mel Tolkien and Norman Abbott wrote this thing because, damn, they know funny. Yeah. Mel Tolkien was the head writer on Your Show of Shows, for crying out loud, like the original comedy on TV. It's not like he didn't know what funny was.
True.
So I was just really surprised by that. It just blew my mind that, I mean, clearly somebody thought that Mel Tolkien knew comedy better than Alan and Rossi. In this one particular instance, they were wrong.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's weird. It's like almost as if nothing went right in this movie.
Mm-mm.
I mean, they couldn't even get the. I mean, they somehow got Nancy Sinatra, and then they still screwed up the music.
Well, I think they were hoping there was enough eye candy where people would realize there wasn't a plot.
Who, Fred Johnson?
There you go.
That's the only one that caught my eye.
Other than the villain's girl, I thought the villain looked like Tavalis.
Telly
Was
Savalas?
it? Yeah.
No, it was Theo Mancuso.
Okay.
Who?
Well, I thought he looked like Cujo.
Who did a lot? Well, I mean, and he had that look, the big beefy bald guy thing.
Yeah.
He was in a bunch of TV shows, usually as the bad guy, but a lot of what he did was comedy, and he was funny. Normally, not in this movie, unfortunately, but
Well, he can only do so much with a shit script.
right.
Yeah.
That's just
I think his girlfriend was the only one who was dressed.
her and Nancy Sinatra, yeah, were the only ones, the only women in this movie actually wearing clothes.
Well, even her they stripped down at one point, know.
But we'll get to that in a future episode too. Anyway, maybe next week, for example.
So I'm figuring out what makes a good spy movie: naked women, some kind of Playboy, and a gadget thrown here and there.
Welcome to the 60s.
So you've got Dean Martin as
Matt
Mr.
Helm.
Gadget.
Oh.
Mr. Gadget. Da 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 da. Flogger didn't like that either.
Flogger is not a fan of Inspector Gadget over here. I'm just saying.
Stop. Eat your crust and shut up.
You're feeding that dog pizza crust?
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
I can't even get my kid to eat pizza crust.
Just put a little honey right there. That'll do it.
Mm-hmm. A little sauce on there. They like it. And they're all dressed tonight, just so you guys know. I know you guys were wondering with the temperatures dropping. And
the dogs are dressed?
Yeah, they're all dressed.
You got pants on them or what?
No, but their waiters should be here soon. They're all in little sweaters and t-shirts.
Willingly?
With looks on their face saying, "Please kill me."
Shoot me now. Just please shoot me now.
Shoot me now.
You stay out of this. He doesn't have to shoot you now.
No, shoot me now. Shoot me now.
See, now that's comedy.
We keep venturing off onto other funny things. I wonder why.
Yeah.
All the missed opportunities.
Man, yeah. This movie was that, for sure.
Yeah.
A missed opportunity.
And there wasn't even any good gadgets. There was a garage door controller and
the umbrella.
And the umbrella.
And the umbrella was, boy, they got all the mileage they could out of that sucker too.
They did.
And as far as that umbrella, the what they say that was shooting out of it, the supports, is that what it was?
I think so, yeah.
Then how do you open it? All your supports are gone.
Right.
Yeah.
You just shot them.
Right.
But how did he fly?
Well, that was.
It was a helicopter, but.
And how did water in the guy's face knock him out?
He hadn't had a bath in months.
It was hard water.
It's like, man, if I could take and just whack somebody on the head and they were just falling around and be out, hell, I'd be dangerous, man.
Welcome to the movies. movie physics for the win.
Well, no, in the umbrella, he did fly away at the end. It wasn't the helicopter.
Thank
it
God.
was out of the
I was kidding about the
sewer
helicopter.
hole. Oh. Like, I watched it.
Did you?
Unfortunately. And who picks these anyways?
I'm sure he'd let us pick them if we offered
I
to
was
help
about to
or
say, I was
anything.
waiting for someone else to step up, but
Learned
hell's
a-
literally freezing over right now, so maybe something will happen.
You learned a long time ago to not wait for that shit.
Right.
We'd be talking about Tim Burton and Zack Snyder all the time.
No, we would
I'm
not.
super neutral.
Right. How about Paw Patrol? That one comes up occasionally.
Oh, it does, yeah.
There's probably better spy stuff going on in Paw Patrol than in this movie. But,
Now it's Dino Ranch.
oh, good.
What?
It's like Disney's version of Paw Patrol with dinosaurs.
Oh, Lord. And I'm going to bring it back up now. Shoot me now.
Do.
So say I'm happy it's dinosaurs instead of sharks.
It's a change, that's for sure.
Yeah. Disney throws us a curveball every once in a while. I hate when they change their programming. It's like, okay, 7:30 Mickey Mouse, and you're eating breakfast. By 9 o'clock, it's Bluey, and then all of a sudden, no, everything's screwed up. It's like, wow, okay, let's readjust. Because Disney couldn't tell us they changed their schedule. And that was my TED Talk. Thank you for coming.
Oh, man. Yeah. Totally.
So, last of the secret agents.
Thank God.
Yeah.
I wouldn't necessarily recommend this one.
Yeah.
I'm glad it was the last of them.
You can see why it was the last of them.
Yeah.
The question mark at the end was definitely the answer to that question was yes. Yes, indeed, this is the last.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And-
this was bad. This was too bad.
And when Les says that,
Yeah,
Goes
that
away.
that has meaning. I'm just saying.
yes.
No, don't do that to me.
On that note, we're going to take a quick break and be back with our weekly picks. And we are back, and it's time for our weekly picks, and leading off is Liz.
All right. For my first pick, it comes from Artists, Writers, and Artisans, Inc., and it's called Bit Size. This is number 3 of 4, written by Colin Bunn, but it kind of goes back to Christmas. I guess this was a delayed one. But they open their gifts and they get robots, and the robots go crazy. So this is kind of episode 3 or issue 3. It's almost over, so this is the good part. But they say it's going to take a Christmas miracle to make the bots not go bad. So it looks cute. Of course, we've talked about Colin Bunn quite a bit on this show. So
We talked to Colin Bunn on this show.
Yep.
So yeah.
That must have been before me.
Really? Maybe.
Maybe.
It might have been.
Maybe.
I don't remember.
Yep.
It's
Yeah.
been a bit.
We had him on the show.
Yeah.
So a Christmas miracle right around Easter.
Yep.
Yep. Gotta love delays.
Mhm.
But it's almost over. So, and it isn't all ages. The artwork looks extremely cute. So
Yeah,
I
it's a pretty
definitely
cute
would
cover for
suggest
sure.
this one. Mm-hmm. I like the little dog.
The little dog is cute. Of course you like the little dog. Jeez.
I just want to know who's buying these kids killer robots,
They probably have a mom who like gets sick and then orders weird shit on Amazon,
Yeah, there you go.
No, they don't say anything about them playing music.
Or sprays her hair with Gorilla Glue.
Oh, we're not going there, are we? Shit.
Oh God.
Wow. Current events, folks.
Current events.
Current
Yep.
events.
Guess what, Mikey?
My turn.
You
I get to follow that
sure-
shit. Oh, all right.
You follow up again.
Thanks, Les.
Sure.
It's not like I haven't done it to you a few times, so payback is good. It's fine. Okay, so my first pick is from Boom Studios, and my pick is called Forever Home. And this is a middle grade graphic novel, and is about a girl named Willow whose parents are in the military, and so she and her family have moved around a lot, and so this time they've landed in a house where she quickly discovers is haunted, and it's not like a scary. It's like I said, this is middle grade. This is young stuff. So it's not scary ghosts. It's ghosts that she actually gets along with pretty well. And so her job becomes to try to convince her parents that they need to stay. Hence the term Forever Home. I think this sounds really cute, and I would like to take a look at it.
Yeah,
That
definitely
sounds
sounds
cute.
cute.
I like the sound of it.
Alrighty, I am next, and for my first pick, I am going with a new book from Scout Comics. It was actually part of their Black Caravan imprint, entitled Black Friday. And this is a story of what they're calling a cleanup crew who's dealing with cleaning up a retail store after Black Friday. And all of a sudden, this negative energy has been released that's in this store, and of course, all hell breaks loose. And according to the synopsis, it says, "Which is just the way corporate wanted it."
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
Yeah.
Fun twist on the idea.
Mm-hmm. And as someone who used to work Black Fridays, I understand that negative energy.
Right?
Well, yeah.
I was just saying that was released on Black Friday, right?
You really only have to watch a few YouTube videos to figure that one out, but yeah.
Alrighty, Les.
My first choice comes from American Mythology. It is American Mythology Monsters number 3. This has been a series of drive-in movie ideas for stories. In this one, you have 3 different stories with the classic characters of werewolf, mummy, and the Frankenstein monster. So I'm interested in to see how this goes, how they reimagine it is the main thing. This is not intended for children. This is for mature audiences. But I'm in on this just because it's one of those books that gives you 3 different stories. And to me, that's the fun of things like this. That's why I'm enjoying the Future State by DC now. You get so many different stories.
Sounds like a fun way to get your B-movie fix.
Yep.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yep. All right, Liz.
All right. For my second pick, it's from Mad Cave Studios, and it's Hollywood Trash number 5. This was a short miniseries. This is the ending of it, so if you don't want to pick this one up, you could probably pick the trade up in about a month or 2. It's not what you think when you think Hollywood Trash. Two garbage guys just happen to be at the wrong place at the wrong time, and they piss off this really big, what do they call him? A ruthless exec. So he's like the industry's top mogul, and he wants them dead. So they've survived sword fights, forest fires, giant mechs. I mean, you name it, these guys have been been through the ringer. This one, they're in a restaurant where there's all kinds of knives. Not a good idea, but
And knives are out.
right.
Oh.
So this will be the conclusion to it, and to see if they actually wind up getting killed for what happened, or if they're going to get away. So it's been cute so far.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun,
And,
dun,
and let me guess, the garbage men's names is Alan and Rossi.
dun. James and Billy.
Oh, okay.
Honestly,
James
from-
Rossi
Close.
and Billy
and
Allen.
Billy Allen.
Right.
Right.
But from your description, it honestly sounds like another kind of homage to B movies,
Mhm.
Yeah.
which is cool. Again, still cool.
Yeah.
Still cool from the
Up in-
last one.
Up until this point, they've been kind of clueless why people wanted them dead, so.
Cool.
Alrighty, Mikey.
Alrighty, so I had a cute pick on the first one. This one is not cute.
Of course.
This is from Scout Comics. Man, we are naming Scout Comics a lot lately, which I think is awesome.
Yep.
And this is actually another graphic novel, and it is called Vlad Dracul. Like I said, not cute. This is kind of the historical, or very close to the historical story of the alleged main inspiration for the novel Dracula. The Vlad Dracul was a warlord in the 15th century, I believe, if I remember right, in Eastern Europe, who, in his very small little nation state of Wallachia, held off the Ottoman Empire for like 12 years in war, just from sheer force of will. So it's actually a very interesting historical story, and I'm looking forward to seeing how they treat it here. Also of note, the artist is Andrea Moody, who is really good.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
I
Yeah.
like it.
Yeah. Okay, I am next. So for my second pick, I'm going with a new title from Vault Comics, entitled Hollow Heart, and it's a story of a man, quote unquote man, who is now nothing but quote unquote jumble of organs in a biosuit, who is in a lot of pain, and someone, a person named Mateo, arrives to supposedly work on the suit, but it sounds like might be a little bit of a romance, but there may be something more to it than that, because and the cover is awesome, so I'm kind of intrigued with this one.
I saw that one too.
That is an interesting cover. I like it.
Mhm.
I like it.
Okay, Les.
My second choice is White Lily #1 from Rad 5. This is another intended for mature audiences, based on the character Lilia Lidcock, who is going to become the greatest female fighter pilot. She is a pilot for the Russian Army in the Second World War. But she's got to survive the day-to-day stuff, such as commanders or trainers. But then she gets the chance to face the German planes. So I want to see this, because it just sounds like it's going to be a good war book plus a day-to-day drudgery of living. So I'm in.
Cool.
Yeah, this was on my radar. Yeah, you talk about just the fact that she's wanting to be a pilot, and of course she's fighting an uphill battle because she's a woman. She shouldn't be in a plane. So yeah. Oh, so you have that, plus you have the war, the whole war. Yeah, so this should be a really good book.
I hope so.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
All right, any special mentions or shout-outs this week?
I just wanted to tell my sister happy birthday. New listener, thank you.
Yeah, happy birthday.
Happy
Yes.
birthday.
Happy birthday.
Obviously, you can see what we'll do for a new listener, but anyway.
Right.
Les will actually show up at your birthday party
Absolutely.
and sing and dance.
Your plane leaves in 10 minutes, Les.
Mhm.
Any other shout-outs or mentions?
No, I mean, I will belatedly at this point say thanks to Joey and the gang at Pop Goes the Culture for letting me come hang out.
That is cool.
It's a lot of
That
fun.
was fun. Yep.
Well, we also want to thank them for allowing us to be part of such a great network of podcasters. Definitely check them out. We'll have a link in our show notes. How's that for a segue?
There you go.
Uh-huh. I also want to thank the fine men and women who make up Potter Family on Twitter, who've been gracious enough to spread the word of the fellowship by retweeting our links. Definitely thank them for that, and highly recommend that you check them out. The best way to do that is just do search #PotterFamily, one word, and just scroll through, and whatever catches your eye, by all means, click on that link, download that episode, and hope you have a good time. Thank you guys always. Want to thank Manny the Murderer for supplying the music to our podcast. There's a link in the show notes where you can check out their fine music. Thank you guys, as always. And finally, you, dear listener, thank you for downloading and listening to today's episode. We do appreciate your support and would love to hear from you. Any kind of feedback, comment, question, suggestion, complaints, observation, what have you. Please send them our way. There are several ways you can do that. Our email address is email@thefellowshipofthegeeks.net, or you can go to the website, go to the About Us page, and there's a contact form that you can fill out there. We've already talked about our Discord. Please come join us, and you can contact us individually if you like. There's also a feedback channel where you can put in your questions or just any kind of feedback you'd like to submit to us. We are on social media. We are on Facebook. Not real often, but we are there. The Fellowship of the Geeks. You can, by all means, follow us there. We are on Twitter, obviously, @Fellowship Geeks. Feel free to follow us there. You can follow our personal Twitter accounts. Mike can be found @MikeyGeek. Liz can be found @LN_geek. Les may or may not be found @FakeLes Webster. And I can be found @TomTCGeek. And from wherever you download our episodes, if you would be so kind as to rate and review our show, thank you very much. Anything else before we say goodbye?
Just thanks, everybody.
Yep. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you for listening.
Thank you for listening, everyone. We do appreciate your support as always. Until next time, geek on, my friends.
We thank you for listening to the show. Comments, suggestions, and questions can be sent to email@thefellowshipofthegeeks.net. You can follow us on Facebook @The Fellowship of the Geeks and on Twitter @Fellowship Geeks. Until next time,